All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Just Nicole. So I'm really excited. I get to interview another author today. So just like really exciting for me. So Hady Mendez is here. So Hady, how are you feeling today? How's today going?
I'm feeling pretty good. My book just launched yesterday, so I guess I don't have a choice. I feel great.
Yes. And that is why you're here today. Oh, so happy day after launch day. How was it? How was the feelings yesterday?
It was intense.
Yeah.
A lot of everything was blowing up on social media. So I had like a newsletter that I sent out to like people that had signed up to be on my waiting list. And then
Mhm.
I have a Substack. So I have followers there. So like I scheduled stuff to go out to them. Like I was very busy on Sunday night, put it that
Yeah.
way. So I had scheduled some stuff, but obviously as soon as the stuff got posted, then people were emailing me and sending me messages, and then stuff went on LinkedIn and Instagram, and then people were tagging me and sharing pictures of themselves with the book. I had a launch party on a Saturday night, so then people were sharing
Oh,
pictures from the launch party, and
yeah.
some people received early copies of the book, so they were sharing those. So it was really fun. It was a nice day. I felt very celebrated. I actually
Mhm.
also went to the movies and I saw Downton Abbey, and I treated myself to like a really nice dinner. So I was like, I'm just gonna do me.
That's awesome. And so today is September 16th, everyone. This video is going to come out a few days later. So the launch was September 15th. So, but before I get into all my questions, like show the book because it's so beautiful. The colors, the colors are very much my colors. I love it so much.
Yeah, it's called Calladita No More, My Latina Journey and the Lessons That Shaped Me.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked with an illustrator from Argentina to
Oh
come
my,
up with this cover, and it was a lot of work.
oh,
It took a long time to get to this point. Like it looks beautiful, and I agree. The colors are gorgeous, and
yeah.
she's beautiful, and I love her vibe and her pouty lips and
Mhm.
her eyebrows and all the things about her. But it took a really long time to get here, y'all. But I'm happy to share that story. That's another
Yeah.
episode, another podcast. But
Yes.
this is the book, and it's nice. It's
Yeah.
easy to find.
Yes. And sorry, I made a face when you said Argentina because we worked for my business, All Mode Branding. Our graphic designer who created our logo was also from Argentina.
Oh, what's her name?
Oh
Or
my
their name?
goodness, it's been like 5 years. I have
Oh,
to remember. Yeah, but I'm like, oh, it's a small world. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
She actually is represented by an agency here
Mm-hmm.
in the US. And it's a collective. So there's like a lot of artists that agency represents. But I knew another author who worked with her on the project. And
Mm-hmm.
when I went to her, coincidentally, I was like, hey, you're an author. Do you know any illustrators? And she
Yeah.
was like, yeah, I just worked with someone who was like amazing. And she's Latina. And I was like, give me her number. And the rest
Yes.
is history.
Okay. Oh, I love that. All right. So we already you sort of answered my first question, but what is one word to describe your day today? You know?
Oh, I'm a little bit tired, to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
I told you that I was on a bunch of back-to-back calls, and I've been like mailing books. I've been to the post office like about 1,000 times in the last week,
Oh,
mailing books to
they
people.
must know who you are.
Oh, they do know who I am. Trust me. I mean, like not like by name, but they're like, "Hey, girl, like
Yeah.
you again."
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. I live in a small town, so it's fine.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm a little bit tired. It does. There was a lot of work for
Yeah.
the last few weeks to get to this point.
Mhm.
You're like, I mean, I've been working for about a year on this book, and
Mhm.
you're writing, and then you're like editing, and then you're proofreading, and all those different phases. They're all work, but they're all different kind of work. And
Yeah.
then the last few weeks have really been the PR and the marketing, and it's been a lot. And
Mhm.
I'm like, I maintain my own website, and I do all my own emails, and I do most of my social stuff, the stuff that I put
Mhm.
on LinkedIn and Instagram. So it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is. It is funny because I think a lot of people think like writing, you get this aesthetic of someone just like at a really beautiful, organized desk, and it's like beautiful scenery and
Yeah.
like they're cozy vibes and they're just writing. But it's like that is probably the first draft that is not going to end up in the book whatsoever.
Yeah. I forgot the name for it, but there is a name for like the shitty ass draft, first draft or something. Like
Yeah,
there's a industry name for what that is in the beginning.
yeah.
But yeah, it is life be lifing.
Mhm.
And, I actually am a speaker and a
Mhm.
ERG coach when I'm not
Yeah.
writing a book. And I
Oh,
actually work at a bookstore too. So I'm very busy. I have a very full life. And
yes.
I just wrote the book on the side, like I was doing other things as well. I had to because I didn't get, so this is not a traditionally published book.
Yeah, I was
I,
gonna ask that, and I was like, oh, like, because you worked with people that were big, that you said worked with the agency, but I was like, oh, is that the agency you worked with? But no, you are self-published, so.
I'm actually not even self-published. It's called hybrid published. So
Ooh.
it's kind of somewhere in the middle. I actually paid a publishing company to help me get my book out into the world. But I had to pay for everything. So no advances, no nothing. So I had to work the whole
Mm-hmm.
time. And also, there's a lot of I guess things that a traditional publisher, decisions that they might usually do, or like resources that they might usually have, I didn't really have them. I was, doing a lot of the work myself. So it's a very different experience, but it's a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful experience, and it's a joy really to have a book in the world. It's so
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah. So let's hop into my later question. We'll go back a few bit because we're talking about this now. So your writing process and you having to, the editing and the proofreading, did you work with an editor or proofreader or anything like that? And then, you just said you have to pay everything out of pocket. So did you pay them to
Yeah,
do the editing? Yeah.
I did. I worked with 2 editors. So I had a book coach, and the book coach, they gave me a lot of guidance around like developing an outline for the book,
Mm-hmm.
for the manuscript. So that kind of is like a first level of editing, if you will, because I got a little bit of feedback on my outline to start with before I even started writing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I worked with what's called a developmental editor next. And it was very important for me because I use Spanish in the book. I wanted a Latina. And even if I didn't use Spanish per se, I was talking about my experience as a Latina. And I wanted someone with a similar experience to, help me, tell the story. So I ended up getting a Latina developmental editor. And that was like the first level of editing. And they're basically helping you like kind of flesh out the stories, and it's like you need to say a little bit more here, like there's not
Yeah.
enough here, or like say more about this. And she was lovely, and she was so kind, and I wrote her a really nice, I acknowledge her at the end of the book, and I'm like, I would pick you again because you were so nice and easy to work with. And then I had a copy editor, and the copy editor is really like, that's really not how, if you abbreviate something, you got to abbreviate it the right way. Like there's standards essentially. And the copy editor is making sure that you're following the standards. And it's like, you can't just like abbreviate New Jersey NJ. You have to say N period, J period, or I'm making that up, but stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so then those were my 2 editors. And then I had a proofreader. And that proofreader was affiliated with the publisher that I selected.
Okay. So were all these people near you, or like virtual? Like how did that work?
Everything is remote.
Yeah.
Everything 1,000% remote. I didn't meet any. In fact, I've not met probably about any of these people in person before. I've never met the 2 editors I work with. I never met the publisher in person. I never met the proofreader, the typesetter. The typesetter were people from India, so I will likely not meet them because I don't even know their names. Like I know it was a company in India that helped with the typesetting. So, and I have 4 formats for the book. So I have paperback, hardcover, ebook, and then I have the audiobook, which I narrated myself. And I actually narrated it from my home. So, and I never met the producer. So like most people go into a studio, I did not.
Yeah.
And I never met this guy either. So like I never met anybody, but like this is the year 2025. You don't need to be meeting people in person to work with them and to get a book in the world.
But it's nice because all this like energy and different people are just coming together to make your product, your book come into reality. And that's just so beautiful. It's like everyone's bringing their skill set. I love that. And were they all based? Well, you said the 2 typesetters were in India, but were the rest here in the US, or were they based in other countries?
The illustrator was from Argentina. So she's from Buenos Aires. So she's outside of the country. And I think everybody else. So like my editors were based in the United States, but out in New York, like me. My publishers in Connecticut. The guy who helped me with the audiobook. I don't even know where he's based. I don't remember where he's based, but he's
somewhere.
I don't know, North Carolina. I don't really remember. But like, I don't know. It didn't matter as it turned out.
Yeah.
And you know what's really funny? So like a funny story from the audiobook. Okay, he's like wherever he is, a million miles away. Like I really don't know where he was based out of. I don't recall. But when we recorded, I was contained like in a closet, like a closet-like space.
Yeah.
He could hear everything. He was like, "Did you just rub your like?" If I did this, he was like, "Did you rub your hand? You know, like your shoulder?" I'm like, "Yes," but the thing is, he's only hearing me. He can't see me. We did not have video turned on. Or like, he's like, "Did you just move your leg?" And I'm like, "I did, but I want to know how you knew that I just moved my leg. Like, I don't understand how you know this."
Oh my goodness.
He could hear like a dog barking in the distance. He's like, "There's a dog barking," and I'm like, "There is no dog. I don't have a dog. There's no dog." And then I'm like, and then I could hear I could hear the dog like in the hallway or like, you know, in the upstairs or whatever. Like he could hear everything. Yeah. So it was really interesting.
Yeah, I guess if that's your feel as a producer, you have to be so in tune to all the sounds.
Yes.
I wonder if he's also like that when he's just out and about in life.
You know, I don't think so, but the truth is, like, imagine, you know, people are reading this book. It has to be silent in the background.
Yeah.
Like, all they should be able to hear is your voice.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like, if you listen to my audiobook, it sounds like I went to a studio and I was like in a recording, you know, box and like recorded, but that's not what I did. It's so funny. Like, it's just amazing the technology we have and how things work today.
Mm-hmm. It's like all you need is a mic. Like, you know, I was telling you earlier before we start recording, I'm doing Trusted House Sitters, and I did like a video of like, this is my setup, like my laptop, my mic, like, you know, I do travel with my mic because I need it, but you make it work, right? Wherever you are. Yeah. Okay. So a little bit about your writing process. When did this book become like an idea in your mind? Like, was it always there or like, you know?
No. So I was part of a book project in April of 2024. So last year in the spring. And I wrote a chapter for that book. And it was really fun. Like, it came quite easily. I like, you know, they gave us a deadline. They're like, we need 3,000 words by the end of, you know, whenever. And I like sat down and I wrote it in one sitting. And I was like, oh, like that was, I don't know. Does everybody write 3,000 words in one sitting? I don't know. I did. And I discovered that everybody does not do that. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. And, you know, it was fun. It was fun to get my ideas out in the world. It was fun to have something to say. I feel like, you know, after 30 years in corporate, I have something to say. You know, I've learned some lessons. I've been around the block. I got, you know, sometimes I got burned, and then I had to like
30 years of corporate. I don't imagine each year was beautiful.
Yeah, it was hard. There was a lot of learning and growing pains. And so I felt like, you know, the thing is that when you live it, you're like, doesn't everybody know that? And it's like, no, everybody doesn't.
Yeah.
So, you know, then I'm like, I want to like write something that can actually be a resource for other Latinas and women of color. I want to like tell them like what I went through, and so that they feel less alone, and they're like, oh, it's not just me. And it's like, no, girl, it's not just you, because it happened to me too. So that's first and foremost. But also like, but this is what I learned from it. You know, like horrible things happen to me. Like, read the book. It's not like a sad book at all, but I am very honest about like, there was some stuff that just was not cool that happened, but I learned from it. I did not just be like, okay, well, that sucks, and like be a victim about it. I was like, okay, what am I going to take away from this? And I feel like, especially looking back, when I looked back, I was like, oh, there were a lot of lessons that I learned. And then there were the frases, these little things that kind of paired with these lessons, and like bringing it all together was like so much fun. So it was really fun for me. It was like solving a puzzle, putting the puzzle together.
So in addition to your, you know, 9 to 5, and you're also doing the bookstore, when you were writing,
I don't have a 9 to 5 though.
9
FYI.
to 5, like,
I'm an entrepreneur, so I have a 24/7.
Yes. But you know, like there's other projects you're working on, right?
Yeah.
And so how did you come, like the actual physical part of the writing? Was it like in the evenings? Did you have like a set weekend day? Or was
No,
it just sort of come to you when it came to you?
no. So
Yeah.
definitely not that last one. My coach
Yeah.
would have a heart attack if she heard that one. No, I literally set aside 9 to 12, Monday through Friday,
Perfect.
every day for like 6 months. And
Mm.
I wrote the book much quicker than that, but even today and even till now, I still have 9 to 12 set aside for book activities. I'm not writing anymore, but I'm still working on the book from 9 to 12. I'm
Yeah.
doing marketing. I'm going to the post office. I'm, doing some stuff on social media, whatever the case might be. So I have had 9 to 12, Monday through Friday, blocked off in my calendar for about a year now. And
Mm.
in the beginning, that was writing the outline, then writing the book, and then doing all the other things like the proofreading, rewriting when I was working with the editors, etc.
Mhm. So you mentioned, learning these lessons from your corporate experiences, but I'm curious to know, like in your book, are there stories in there from before your corporate experience, like childhood, adolescence, or is it just starting right when you are maybe like a young adult going into the corporate world?
That is an excellent question, Nicole. And there's a whole chapter on family. And I do talk about my childhood there. I tell 3 stories. One,
Okay.
everybody who I talk about is now deceased. So I try not to write about people that are still alive because I just feel like I didn't want to put anybody on blast. But I talk about, I have my late sister, Sonia. There's a story with her, and then my mom and dad. And they're all, childhood slash, stories of when I was younger or like in my early, very, very, very early stages of my career and things that happened. And, and again, it's all about lessons that I learned. So it's like, what did I learn from my sister? What did I learn from my dad? What did I learn from my mom? And so that's kind of where it starts. And then it's all about different things that happen in my career.
Yeah. So the sayings for each chapter, like, sorry, my Spanish is limited.
That's okay. They're called refranes or they're called dichos. Some people know them as dichos.
Did those come to you after you wrote the chapter, or did you think of those sayings and then try to find a story to go with those?
No, I know, girl. I don't even remember what came first, the chicken or the egg. But I think what happened was I came up with the theme, the lesson. So the thing that I wanted to talk about. So the theme. And then I had to find the story and the saying to go with it. So it was work, but it was fun work. For me, that was fun. I don't know if everybody would find it fun, but it was fun to me. So as an example, I have a chapter dedicated to self-care. It's called Self-Care Siempre, and it's all about self-care. So then I had to come up, okay, what are the stories in my journey that relate to self-care? And, I talk about like what I do now and how I eat. I eat like gluten-free, and I talk about that. And I don't drink alcohol. I walk all the time. So I talk about all the things that are all my little tricks and tips. And then I had to find the dicho that matched that paired with that. And the one that I use, it says something like, El que bien se cuida, bien vive. I think that's what it is. And it's like the person who takes care of themselves lives well. Like you have to take care of yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Like your health is your wealth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And exactly what you just said is a refrán. I just use the Spanish ones. But that's exactly what a refrán is, what you just said, health is wealth.
Yeah. Yes. Like nice little saying as a reminder for us. I think as human beings, we need sometimes just a quick little saying to
I call it cultural wisdom.
Yeah.
And for me, because they're in Spanish, it reminds me of people in my life. And I think that's true. Most Latino, I'm first gen. Are you first gen, Nicole?
No, I'm third generation.
Oh shit. So you're not. So you're like an anomaly.
Yeah.
You're like a unicorn. But a lot of the first gen people that I know, when I say the word refrán, it's like, like a little something comes up in their face, and it's a feeling. It's a feeling, and you remember a person, you remember the person who said it, you remember the context in which they told you the refrán, and that's what makes them so magical. So that I wanted to connect that. I wanted to bring that feeling into the reader's experience when they read the book.
Are any of these sayings that like maybe like family members or friends have said that you really wanted to incorporate in the book?
Yes, totally. My mom was a big refrán person.
Mhm.
So I brought in a lot of the things that she said. Like there was a funny one, and you might like this one. I'll translate it for you too. Okay,
Okay.
so there's, do you know, you've heard of Guatemala, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you know what the word mala means in Spanish?
Not off the top of my head now.
Okay. So mala means bad.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay. So there's a saying, hay un dicho, que it's like from Guatemala to Guatapeor. So, and it's like a play on words, but you're using the word Guatemala, which is like a place. And you're
Yeah.
saying you're going from this place to this other place, but what peor means worse, literally. So it's saying you're going from Guata bad to Guata worse, which is like so weird. And if you don't speak English and Spanish, some of it is like gets lost in translation.
Yeah.
But that's basically what that one is. And that's a really fun one. And I remember, like, I know so many people who say, like, you're going from like a not great situation to a worse situation. And that's sometimes that's how life is. You think you're trying to get out of a situation because you want to make it better. And sometimes you end up even in a worse situation.
Yeah.
And that happens.
Yeah. I think that's sometimes life. Like you,
Yeah.
you have to even regress even more to.
Yes. A couple steps backward to then go forward.
Yeah. I always tell people, I'm like, if you keep making the same mistake, I think it's the universe's way of telling you that you haven't learned yet the lesson that you're supposed to learn with that.
That's
yeah. It's funny. That's a fun saying because there's a lot of people I know that do that. I've been through that. Okay. So I guess we talked a little bit about why this particular book, but I'm really curious of after this writing experience and using your life experience for this book, while you were doing this, and I'm sorry, I didn't give you this as a question beforehand, but I'm curious, were you inspired or do you have like inklings for like another book or like a part 2?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I know that when I wrote the outline, part of the outline is to say, because it's like an overview document, and it says this is what the book is about, and this is what the book is not about. And there are some things that I threw in there, and I'm like, I'm not going to talk about this. I'm not going to talk about that. Like it's just like out of scope. Think of it as a scope document. It is out of scope.
Yeah.
So some of those things are like, but is the next book? Am I going to talk about that? I don't know yet. And I am going to be a little bit like, I don't want to say, I think our culture is very much like, okay, you wrote the book. What are you writing about next, Hady? And it's like, girl, the book just came out yesterday.
I know.
I'm going to try and enjoy this book for a little bit.
Enjoy the success.
Yes, because I feel like there is a lot of like, there are a lot of people that I want to reach and a lot of people that I want to impact with the message in this book. And I want to like sit in that and I want to lean into that. And I want to take advantage of like, I have this great tool, this great resource. I want to put it out there. A lot of people have been saying, because I wrote it for like people that are in the early stages of their career. And people are like, this would be great for college students. This would be great even for high school students. And I'm like, I didn't even think of that. So now like, maybe there are more markets out there and people that I could impact. And that's like a group, both of those groups of people are people that I would want to work with for sure. So I just feel like I want to take advantage of this and see like where this takes me. And, but I work with a coach. And the coach is going to be having like an author's retreat next year. And I think I feel like that's when I'm going to think I'm going to have that, that thought process and be like, okay, I'm at this retreat, this is the time to be like, well, what else? I already said something, my legacy is there. And there was something really important that I had to say. Are there other important things that I really want to say? And I'm sure there are, but like, we'll see if there's time, money, resources, and all the things to do it. So, but I'm going to enjoy this book for a little bit.
You should, because it is a process to write a book.
It's work.
It's a process to do anything creative, because especially if it's coming from you, like, this is almost like a memoir, It
is a memoir, 1,000%. And yes.
You out there. So there's no hiding anymore. There's a good part of your life that's always going to be out there, and so enjoy it. A lot
of people, when I tell them something like, was that in the book? And I'm like, no. They're like, write it down for the next book. You know, like, well, that's going in the next book. So we'll see.
I love that. I love that. So I guess I'm also curious to know your ERG like work that you also do. How did you balance that with writing the book? So you did mention you wrote like 9 to 12, but I know with coaching, you're going to have different clients. So how did you add this to your plate?
Yeah, I mean, if there was an extraordinary circumstance, I would accommodate people earlier in the day, but usually, that wasn't the case. So I was able to just take my clients in the afternoon. I tend to focus on like kind of 2 or 3 areas. So I do advisory work for ERGs, so companies that are looking to launch employee resource groups. I can help them with that. So, it's pretty easy to do, schedule something in the afternoon, and we go through like kind of where people are and where they need extra support. I do a lot of like coaching with ERG leaders. I've done offsites with ERGs. I do workshops for them. Again, if like someone really needed me to do it in the morning, I would do it in the morning. But if they didn't need it, then I would just schedule those in the afternoon. And then the last thing, I do a lot of speaking engagements. Like we just started Hispanic Heritage Month. This is a busy month for people who do public speaking. But, I try to find speaking opportunities and ways that I can continue to speak all year round, because our voices and our stories matter 12 months out of the year. So I try to refrain from just being a 1 month gal, but like I want to be talking all year long. And in order to talk all year long, then obviously I talk about my lived experience as a Latina, but that's not the only thing I talk about. I talk a lot about self-advocacy, self-promotion. I talk about why we have more power than we think we do. They're all related topics. So, a lot of it is just like self-empowerment. It's like, there's, my message is really for everybody. It's a universal message. So it's like, yes, if you're a Latina or woman of color, you're definitely going to get a lot out of my talk. But I don't think other people don't get stuff out of my talk. And it's funny. There was one time where I spoke at a company invited me in to speak. I don't even remember for what it was for, but whatever. They brought me in, and they had a lot of like Gen X people in the audience. And this, young man came to me afterwards, and he was like, the stuff you were talking about really like resonated with me. Like I'm in the early stages of my career, and you talked about a lot of things that now I'm going to be paying attention to. So, just want to say thanks. And I was like, that wasn't even necessarily my target market, but I was so happy to hear it. I was like, yes, the more people that can resonate with the message, obviously the better. And I think like the messages are pretty universal.
Yes. Yeah. And it is interesting because like people mentioning that this book can be good for college and high school students. I think, oh yes, because there's more and more studies have shown more and more people are not, like, especially males, are not going to college, right? And so I think a lot of these like life lessons that traditionally you would get like as you go into the corporate world and college, they're not going to be able to get. So maybe like this book can really help them like navigate the first like from 18 to 25. Those
that would be nice.
Yeah, to make them sure like they're on the right track. Sorry, I'm always looking at like different data. I'm like, why are people doing what they do? Okay, so you do work at a bookstore as well. So I imagine that's one of your favorite bookstores. But what are some of your favorite bookstores in your area and also in your travels? What are some of your favorites?
Wow, that's such a good question. Well, I was just in Puerto Rico for the Bad Bunny concert, and I went to a bookstore there that I really liked. It's called, am I mentioning names? Am I naming names?
If you want to.
Yeah, that one was Bookmark. It's called Bookmark. And they have a couple of locations in Puerto Rico. So it's really nice. They have like a little cafe, and you could get like matcha, and they even had like a gluten-free treat for me. So it's like anybody who has gluten-free stuff gets extra bonus points for me. I work at a bookstore here in the town where I live in Beacon, New York, and it's called Stanza, and it's an independent bookstore here. And it's just really nice. We have a really pretty main street, lots of shopping. People visit us all the time. We have like Beacon Falls is here, and we have like a really nice hotel, and they do a lot of weddings here. So I usually get the wedding crowd on Sunday morning. They're like going for coffee and getting breakfast on Sunday, a lot of out-of-towners. But Stanza is a really cool bookstore. And we have like stickers and journals and pens and a lot of stuff besides very cool books. And we have very cool book sections. We have like witchcraft stuff, which is really fun. And we have an LGBTQ plus section and just lots of fun stuff. So, and they have a section of libros only in Spanish, which is really nice too. That's a newer section.
Oh, perfect.
And then there's a bookstore in Brooklyn, which is where I hail from. I'm a Brooklyn gal. There's a bookstore there called Café con Libros. And I'm actually going to be speaking in Café con Libros October 18th. And I'm very excited about that. I'm going back to my own stomping grounds and I'm going to do an author event in Café con Libros in Brooklyn. So, yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, that actually leads me to my next and final question. How can people support you? Where can they find you? And, what are some upcoming events where they could get to see you and your book in person?
So this is the book. Look for it. Again, it's available in this is the hardcover. I also have it in paperback, ebook, and audiobook. If you're not sure which one to go with, I always recommend the audiobook because I personally narrated it and I think it came out really good. So audiobook recommendation from me. I'm going to be in Beacon in the bookstore where I work next week.
Yeah.
We're going to do an author event there and I'm bringing my friend Vanessa from the Latina Writing Comunidad to be my conversation partner. And then on October 1st, I'm going to be at the Julia de Burgos bookstore in Philly, Pennsylvania. And I'm going to be with fellow Latina author Alyssa. Reynoso Morris. She wrote a book called Plátanos I Love. You know her?
Yes, I do. And I love her story. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's a children's book author, but she's dipping her feet in some other stuff. She did a young adult book recently, but she's going to be my conversation partner in Philly. And then, like I said, I'm going to be in Brooklyn at Café con Libros, and that's going to be on October 18th. But anyway, you can find out all the details at calladitanomore.com. Calladitanomore.com is where it's at.
And that will be in the bottom of the screen, everyone, and also in the description box below. All the details. So
yay! Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you. All right. So thank you so much for being here and for chatting with me, and safe flight travels and all the good stuff coming your way. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.